Alrighty, so there's some really exciting stuff going on in the MMA world right now. UFC 317, Ilia Topuria will be facing Charles do Bronx Oliveira for the lightweight title. And you're saying, hold on a moment, they're fighting for the lightweight title? How on earth? Let me make sure that you guys are looking at what I'm looking at right here. Why on earth are they fighting for the lightweight title? Well, Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion, has decided to vacate his title, and now he's going to be facing Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight championship. Let me tell you guys, bro, I am really excited for this one. I know. We all wanted to see Topuria versus Islam, especially because of how well Alexander Volkanovski did against Islam in the first fight. And, of course, we saw Topuria do what he did to Volkanovski as well as Max Holloway. Would he have been able to beat Islam? I guess we're never going to actually see that, or maybe we will. I don't know. But right now, I love this matchup. I really like this matchup. And the reason why I like this matchup is because it's not often that we get a matchup where the two guys that are fighting will not be scared of each other regardless of where the fight goes, right? Topuria versus Oliveira. Charles Oliveira has an incredible mixed martial arts skill set with his striking, his clinch work, his grappling, and Topuria as well has an incredible mixed martial arts skill set with his striking, his grappling, his clinch, and his jiu-jitsu. Topuria, actually, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and Ilia Topuria was talking about how he started training at 5 years old. His parents, they put him and his brother in judo. And they started things off with judo. Then he said they moved to Georgia. And when they moved to Georgia, they kept training judo. But at the same time, they incorporated Greco-Roman wrestling as well. Fascinating that it's specifically Greco-Roman wrestling. And then he said they moved to Spain, I believe sometime around when they were 15 or so. And that's when he actually started training mixed martial arts. And then at 17 years old is when he started training in boxing, which is fairly late, right? It's like, I'm in boxing gyms all the time. And dude, the place is just full of really, really young people who are training. And a lot of times, especially in this day and age, bro, like to get to the highest level of these martial arts, you got to start training at a very, very young age. And so to hear that that Topuria only started training boxing at 17 years old, especially considering the fact that he very well may be the best boxer in the UFC, it is absolutely fascinating to me. Like, I love seeing stuff like that. A fighter that starts really, really late, but then still, builds an incredible skill set. So when you think about Topuria, right, a lot of times people are thinking, oh my God, he's just a striker. But the man started off with judo, Greco-Roman wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He is a very good grappler. And I know that's where a lot of people are going to be thinking that, Charles Oliveira is going to have him absolutely outmatched. I really don't think so, right? Now, what about Oliveira? Charles Oliveira himself also started with grappling, with jiu-jitsu, but he has transformed himself into a really dangerous striker. We saw what this man did to, the likes of Dustin Poirier. We've seen him in there against Michael Chandler. His incorporation of the clinch with his kicks, with his boxing, and also his aggression. It's like the man just woke up one day and just turned himself into a completely unrecognizable fighter compared to the version of him that we used to see. And not to mention, he is still just as dangerous as he always has been when it comes to grappling. So this is going to be an incredible fight. The size difference is negligible, honestly speaking, especially because Ilia Topuria has fought in the lightweight division before. He's been in there with a man who was over 6 feet tall. And although he got hurt in that fight, we saw how he put him away. Topuria is more powerful in the lightweight division. And, you take a look at someone like Ilia Topuria and it's like, oh, he's a featherweight. And I feel like that happens a lot, especially as a fan of MMA, where like we take a look at these guys and because they fight at a specific weight, we sometimes forget they're not actually that weight. You know what I mean? Topuria is not actually a featherweight. He fights at featherweight, but the man cuts an incredible amount of pounds. I mean, I remember on the Joe Rogan podcast, Joe was asking him his walk around weight. I believe he said it was something like 180. Like, I'm 184 pounds right now. We weigh about the same. So it's like, this is not a featherweight, bro. He's not going to be undersized against Charles Oliveira at all. I think he's going to be able to match Charles Oliveira physically. And man, as we've seen with Oliveira, getting tagged, getting dropped, and then some of the guys are kind of afraid to jump in his guard because they're afraid of his jiu-jitsu. I don't see that being a case here, bro. Is Topuria at one point going to connect with Charles Oliveira? I think so. You know what happens when I connect. I think he's going to connect at some point. Charles is going to drop. He's going to engage him on the ground, and that's the battle I actually want to see, bro. That's what I want to see, man. As a fan of jiu-jitsu, what I want to see is these two guys on the ground. I want to see, because, man, we haven't seen Topuria's grappling in a long time. He's been knocking everybody out left and right. You know what I mean? We haven't seen this man showcase his grappling in a minute, so I would love to see that. I mean, look at these numbers right here, bro, right? 5'7" versus 5'10", 74-inch reach for Charles Oliveira, 69-inch reach for Ilia Topuria. Look, these numbers might look, they match up very, very well. They match up very well. And man, I really don't even, let's take a look at some of these numbers right here. Taking a look at the grappling, we've got takedown average, look at that. Not too crazy. Takedown accuracy, 61% for Ilia Topuria, which of course could also be because Topuria does not shoot as much takedowns as, Charles Oliveira does. So his number stays more intact. Takedown defense, 92% for Topuria versus 56% for Charles Oliveira. And then submission average, of course, that's going to go to Charles Oliveira. I believe Charles has the most submissions at lightweight. Maybe he has the most submissions in the UFC. I think that is accurate. In terms of significant strikes, look at that. Landed per minute, Topuria. Topuria definitely is the more aggressive striker in terms of his landed. And then significant strikes, look at that. Very, very fascinating. Charles Oliveira at 55% versus 47%. Then again, what does the UFC count as significant, right? Because like with Charles, he's so aggressive and he stays in your face and he's blasting knees, he's kicking, he's punching, and then absorbed. Absorbed is a very interesting one because if you would have asked me, I would have told you 110% Charles Oliveira absorbs more shots per minute than Topuria, but it's looking like Topuria actually does absorb a little bit more. It's not too crazy, but just a little bit more, unless I'm like reading this completely incorrectly. I was terrible at math. And then defense, right? Topuria definitely has the better defense, really good head movement, very good footwork. The way the man always, he has this like, weight on the back foot. That weight on the back foot allows him to, the thing with like a lot of MMA guys, right? Their weight is on their front foot. So a lot of times when you throw, let's say you throw a jab cross, right? Now your body is being thrown forward, which is why a lot of guys will like throw themselves, at the opponent and crashing all the time. But like my boxing trainer will always like emphasize on keeping that weight on the back foot. So if you look at a lot of old school boxers, there's a reason why they're like here. Right? They're usually here. It's very easy to make sure that weight is on the back foot when you're here, right? But Topuria is like, it's like around here. Weight on the back foot. No matter what he's doing, he always has that balance, and that's why he's able to generate so much freaking power. So I would love to see this fight. I know I've been freaking rambling, but man, I would really, really love to see this fight. I want to see who's gonna push who back, right? We've seen Charles. Charles is like a freaking. He's. Are we gonna finally see the Matador here? Because Charles Oliveira usually is the one that's like aggressive. He's pushing forward. He's looking for the clinch. If he crashes in, boom, he's blasting knees. He's using that to try to get to the cage. I mean, we saw his wrestling against Michael Chandler. It was fantastic. Right? Are we finally gonna have to see Ilia Topuria like move it? You know what I mean? And not being there. Are we gonna have to see that? I don't know. But man, I'm excited. I mean, I really, really am. It's been a long time since we saw a matchup like this. One of them moving up in weight, a champion that has, I mean, I don't want to say cleared out his division, but he's defeated the it guys in the weight class. The current champion, he knocked them out. And Max Holloway, who we all know how good he is, he KO'd him as well. So either way, it's going to be an incredible fight. This is not the only good fight on the card, though, right? Let's go back here. You've got another title fight. You've got Alexandre Pantoja is going to be facing Kai Kara-France. Honestly speaking, I don't really like Kai definitely has a chance to win, but if I had to pick, I would definitely go with Pantoja. Oh, my initial predictions. This might change later, but initial predictions, I'm leaning towards Ilia Topuria. I think he's going to catch him. He's not going to be afraid to get into the guard and tussle with Charles Oliveira in there. And I think he's going to stop Charles Oliveira. I think he's going to stop him. That's my prediction right now. Again, that could totally change, so don't hold me to it too much. And for this one, leaning more towards Pantoja. Look at that. Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Brandon Royval versus Manel Cape. Costa. Oh my God. Where the heck has Paulo Costa been, bro? Look at this. Costa is back. Jack Hermanson versus Barack Obama. You've got Denise versus Justin Tafa. I meant to say, who's the guy that's constantly trying to sue the UFC? What's his name? Mark Hunt. Every time I see Justin, I immediately think of Mark Hunt. And you've got Tracy Cortez right here. Brian Ortega's ex-girlfriend facing Vivian Araujo. And that's all we have for now. So yeah, man, I'm going to leave it at that. I am really, really excited for this fight card. I can't wait. I cannot wait. You guys, look at that. June 28th. Let's get it. So you guys, give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Who do you have winning these fights? Do you like this matchup? Are you upset that he will not be facing Islam anytime soon? You guys let me know. And I'll see you guys later with a brand new one. As always, stay safe. Peace out. Have a good one, boys.